Hey everyone. Just wanted to show a little video. I got a bobcat and then I called in a fox today, so I thought I'd show how I skin a bobcat. And there's multiple ways to skin a cat, but I thought I've never done this before, so why not attempt to video this. I don't know if it'll work or not, but this is my first time, so I can't really move the camera too much, but and the other issue is we're in the Mojave Desert. There are no trees, so I found a Joshua tree, which is just like an overgrown shrub. I found one that hopefully won't break on me as I'm skinning, but we'll see how it goes. So first thing I do is I start from the pad and I'll come down this color line all the way to the anus, but I'll come into the white a little bit. So that's a little tip. When you stretch it, that way it'll make that belly look even more whiter. I mean, you know, I used to go right down the color line and a little brown would come into it. Well, that shows up when you do the Nevada stretch. And this comes not from me. This comes from well-known, Joel Blakesley, told me that. And so that way it just makes that belly totally white as far as it will go down. So those are my initial cuts on a cat. So it's starting to get a little cold, and I don't particularly like skinning on my tailgate or anything. Normally when I'm at home, I have my gamble set up in the garage, and I just do all my skinning, and then when I go out the next day, I'll get rid of the carcasses. So these first initial cuts, I know you can't really see. Normally I do this on my tailgate until I can get it up onto the gamble. Get those hocks all freed up. Surprisingly, this cat has a nice undercoat. I think that rain that we had, the good monsoons that we had, really opened it up. So we got that cleared up, opened up, and so we can now kind of get him up on here. Kind of a heavy tom, I guess, for Arizona. Heavy, probably 18 pounds or so if I had to guess. Maybe 20, but that's a good sized cat for Arizona. Okay, so let's get that other one opened up here. These first few cuts, like I said, I usually do it on the ground or a tailgate. It's just easier when I'm hunched over it, and then the rest I like to put on a gamble. Also helps to have a pretty sharp knife. Not razor sharp, otherwise you'll be cutting so many holes in it. Then you become really good at sewing up. It's a good idea not to have the knife in your hand when you're trying to pull. I have stabbed myself before. So I wonder if I could flip this around. Let's see if this works. I don't know. Oh well. So I'll open that fur up all the way to his vent. And he's still a little warm. It always helps when you don't wait too long. Cats, their hide is pretty thin, so you do got to be careful. So now we got the scrotum, and then we have the vent. And so I just poke my knife through and cut around that vent. That exposes the base of the tail. Now I probably use the knife more than some people, but that's just me. You know, some people really like to tug and pull and stuff. I don't really. That's just the way I learned. I learned on a mountain lion, actually, my first animal. So I don't use a tail stripper. I will use, which actually is pretty handy. A tail stripper is very handy. Normally I just cut it down enough to free up, and then cut on each side, free up the tail, and then I'll just pinch it with my fingers and pull it down. And then always remember to split that tail open, so that when you dry it, it's not going to fall off or lose hair or anything. Next thing is the belly. Just work it from both sides. Normally there's fat right in the belly here. And then as far as I go try to take most of the fur. The only thing left on here is his scrotum there, and then I work it down to this point. The other thing I like to do is take their lower legs and just ring them. Basically you're just cutting all the way around. It just makes it, when you start pulling the hide off the cat, you don't really have to mess with that part. I do it right above the dew claw, that pad that's higher up there. And so what I might do is give you a better shot here. Let's see if we can get that down a little bit. And I'll probably raise this up a little bit. Wish I had a decent tree, but I don't. So what I do, I just get on my haunches. I'll just pull that cat down. And then I start working the lower half. We're down to the shoulders. Maybe I'll move you down onto the ground. You might see a little better. How's that? Okay. this is the tough part for most people, is this belly right here up under the chin. So you can just follow the legs down and just keep pulling down with your thumb. So that constantly, that's what's going to be the game saver, is pulling that skin down as you're freeing up that cartilage or the fat and the skin. And then I swing it around. I grab it. It's normally pretty clammy. It's not real bloody or anything because this cat wasn't shot when I dispatched it. I just dispatched it in the cage with a catch pole. So main thing, just keep freeing that fur up under the neck and pulling down at the same time. So you start using your fingers and your thumbs, and the more you skin, the more you it'll become second nature. Like, this is one of the first times that I actually have to describe what I'm doing, because it's just, normally it's second nature. It's 5-7 minutes and this skin is off the cat, and I'm already moving on to harvesting the items I want off of him. So we're to the point where it's freed up. A lot of people I have a steel bar that a lot of times I'll run in here and then I'll pull down. It's in my skinning bucket. I just didn't use it this time. But you could start, you could use your thumbs and fingers and pull down. Less chance of cutting it, and then I get the knife out of the way and then just pull that arm through like a long sleeve shirt, and then we got our cut. And if it sticks up, if your the hide doesn't want to come off, just like a coyote or something, you can always take your knife and just slowly work it down. Make sure to keep that blade not against the fur side, but against the meat side, so that you do not cut that fur. So all we have now, twist this guy up, is the neck and the head. Now this, you just got to be careful because he has his jugular veins here on both sides. I've cut them, and then it becomes a bloody mess. Sometimes when you cut through the ears, it'll start releasing blood, and then it just becomes much more messier than it needs to be. So we're down to our point where our earbuds are on both sides. They just stick out, and they're soft. It's not like this muscle tissue. You can feel the cartilage on both sides, and you can see the gap between the two. So then you want to cut into the skull, cut through that ear canal, and it's better to go up closer to the neck than it is down. It just gives you more of the ear to deal with, and you're not cutting the ear off. So you can do that on both sides. Super easy. And then that gives you a good spot to put your finger, so you can start working your way around the jaw, the teeth. And like I said, when you cut through the ear, a lot of times you'll get blood. Maybe that's why a lot of people do it on their tailgate or something. Maybe it's less bloody, but I'm stuck in my old ways. So we went down to the eye sockets. Here's another trouble spot for most people. You want to cut once it starts opening up the cartilage and the eyelid. I kind of just work my like a half moon around that until I can get my eyelid open, right there. And then I can cut down and get all the way down to the tear duct. It's hard to see, I can't zoom in, but the tear duct will be at the bottom of the eye, where the eye meets the snout. So to free up some of that, I'll go ahead and quickly do this. So there's not minimal blood, but then you just start working around the cartilage of the nose, and then sometimes you catch on those eye teeth, and that's it. So that's the bobcat skin. We'll turn it inside out here. Got a little bit of blood on there, and that'll be cleaned off. I always wash my fur before, and then I roll it up in a plastic bag and freeze it. But otherwise, that's how we did it, and hopefully that helps some newer trappers, and they could probably do a better job. And there's lots of other people out there who could probably explain it and do a better job, but I'm out in the wilderness. Don't have my fur shed or garage. But thanks for watching.